The buck stops here was first coined by President Truman. And in Trump's first term, he had that very statement and responsibility put to him. And he said, well, you know, the buck stops in a lot of places, signaling to the American people he was never going to take responsibility for anything. And yet, Trump still managed in this second time around to convince 70 plus Americans that egg prices were high because of Joe Biden, when it was mostly the bird flu. He managed to convince 70 plus Americans that Biden's economy was dead when the stock market was at an all-time high. If you don't recall how he positioned things and then the truth of what's been occurring in this breaking story, when you see what Trump just said this morning, after all that he's done with Musk and Doge and everything, take a quick listen to this because you're going to want to see this breaking story. But listen to Donald Trump flip, flop, waffle, king, no responsibility here.
We're going to end up with the strongest economy anywhere in the world, and we're going to do it very quickly.
On January 20th, we'll turn the economy around very quickly.
This is Biden, and you could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden because it doesn't just happen on a daily or an hourly basis.
Do you ever notice that when we go up in the polls, the stock market goes up? It's only because it's a short time, and the stock market only goes up because they think we're going to win.
Before these 100 days began of the second Trump term, he was arguing that the incumbent president should get credit or accountability for how the stock market does.
Since the election, the stock market has surged.
He is now failing his own standard with the trillions wiped out, America's largest companies down about 8%. Facing that fall, Trump is ditching the former approach. And while the fall clearly came after he came into office, I showed you the chart from inauguration, with the markets responding to his tariffs, Trump now selling the claim that the fundamentals were some kind of mess that he inherited.
I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
Now, the stock market's not doing so well, and you're saying that's the Biden stock market, yet you are the president. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm not taking credit or discredit for the stock market. I'm just saying that we inherited a mess. It says how bad a situation we inherited.
That's the president's argument. He has every right to make it, but the markets aren't exactly buying it.
I don't view the stock market as the end all. It's an indicator.
There'll be a little disturbance.
And under my leadership, we are quickly going to turn this economic nightmare into an economic miracle.
Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
This. Look, everything's okay. We're okay with that. It won't be much.
And so Trump once again wakes up on a Friday morning, losing his mind, and sends this out to the world on Truth Social. Look at this breaking news post. Breaking news from Donald J. Trump on his Truth Social account in his words. The Democrat-inspired and controlled Congressional Budget Office, CBO, purposefully gave us an extremely low, in all caps, level of growth, 1.8% over 10 years. How ridiculous and unpatriotic is that? They did the same thing to us in 2017, and we doubled their numbers. The information they recently released is even more absurd and indefensible. I predict we will do 3, 4, even 5 times the amount they purposefully allotted to us, 1.8%. And with just our minimum expected 3% growth, we will more than offset our tax cuts, which will, in actuality, cost us no money. Let's be clear that he's talking about unfavorable math being unpatriotic. If you wonder how Donald Trump won, it's right there. It's taking something that's actually factual, and it's not fake news, and turning it into, once again, patriotism. Because patriotism to Donald Trump is absolutely myopic loyalty. That's what patriotism is to him. And once again, while he continues to destroy Biden's economy and lie about tariffs and change his mind every other day, to have him sit there and tell you that somehow what he's doing is going to wind up paying for all the tax cuts is not just hubris. It's not just arrogance. It's not just narcissism. It is abject, blind irresponsibility to the point that our economy is going to drift in a way we've not seen. Because this bill, if it somehow gets through the Senate, will cost us another $4 trillion in debt, all of which is going to go into the pockets of the top 1% or 0.5%. But this is who Donald Trump is when he told you, well, the buck stops in a lot of places, and he posts it on True Social to the world in his little myopic snow globe that he lives in. You guys have a good weekend. Stay frosty.